Most people think Golden Visa in Dubai and Abu Dhabi are the same, but in fact, it's very different. And in this video, we're going to decode how different they are and what is the best for you. And we have great bonus for you. Make sure you stay tuned till the end. Hi, I'm Mira. I've been doing property management in Abu Dhabi for 11 years. For the past few years, we have also started to help clients in Dubai as well. And because we operate in both markets and we have seen first-hand experiences of how different these two markets operate in terms of Golden Visa application process. And most of the agents that you speak to probably won't know about this. So today we're going to give you the most detailed version so you can decide what is the best for you. And today I have invited my colleague, Isabella again. You have seen Isabella in the previous video about will registration because she helps a lot of clients to apply for Golden Visa in both Dubai and Abu Dhabi. Isa, welcome.
Hello everybody.
Yeah, thank you for coming. All right, so let's cut to the chase. What are the differences between Abu Dhabi and Dubai in terms of Golden Visa?
Dubai offers more flexibility and a more accessible process. Abu Dhabi follows a more structured and stricter policy approach.
And I think Dubai also has more visa types that investors can look into application. And recently, there is a really good news from Dubai government. It loosens up some criteria, and we'll talk more about it in the end of the video. So make sure you finish watching it. Then, can you please let us know, for those who want to apply for Golden Visa, how can they actually go about the application process between Abu Dhabi and Dubai? And let's start with Dubai, because Dubai is always easier, right, compared to Abu Dhabi. And I know probably most of the investors are more into off-plan purchase these days. So let's start with off-plan project in Dubai. How can investors start applying for it?
Okay, so there are three phases. The first one is property purchase. Then you obtain a temporary certificate.
Right, it's equivalent of Title D, but it's temporary whilst the project is still under construction.
Correct. So the second phase is document preparations. So you submit those documents and we will send to the government to check up you're complete or not. If yes, then that's the time you come to UAE to start the application.
I see. So first of all, you definitely have to buy a property, right? And then the property has to worth 2 million or above. Then I think after you pay 20 to 30% to the developers, depending on each developers, plus 4% of DLD, which is to the government to register your ownership, then the developers will issue you a document which is called OCUD. And with that OCUD, then you can start the second phase, which is the document preparation, because obviously you need to submit some documents to the government in order for the government to approve your application process. So I think for the main principle is quite simple and straightforward. It's just passport and OCUD, that's it, right?
And photo?
Yeah. And photos, yes, of course. But if you have dependents that you also want to sponsor their visas, for example, your parents, your spouse, your kids, then you need to get marriage certificate, birth certificate, and maybe household registration certificate if you have those, and get them attested by the UAE embassy in your home country, then post them over to UAE, to your service providers. Like in our case, our client post to us, then we will get them attested. We will submit to the government for the approval. And once the government approves, it's a time that they can come over to Dubai to do the physical application.
Yes.
What are the things they need to do in terms of the physical application when they're here?
So they will have to do a medical check and a biometric fingerprint.
I see. And then do they need to stay here for the whole time whilst waiting for their visa to be issued?
They can stay in the UAE, no problem, but medical and biometric has to be done in Dubai.
So once they finish the medical and biometric, they can travel anywhere in the UAE.
Yes.
When can they leave the country?
As soon as they obtain a residency visa, which is digital ones, because they don't issue a paper one anymore, sticker anymore, then you can leave the country.
And in terms of the actual Emirates ID card, we can post it to them later on, right?
Yes, correct. It takes 2 to 3 days more to receive the actual card. But if you are urgently to leave the country, you can leave after you obtain the residency visa.
And when can they start applying for dependents visa, their family's golden visa?
As long as the main principal obtains his residency visa, then that's the time you can sponsor your family members.
So the main principle is the property owner. So as soon as the property owner gets his digital visa issue, that is the time he or she can start applying for the dependents visa, either the spouse or the kids or the parents. And in terms of ready bill, I think the process is pretty similar. It's just that you don't need Okud anymore. You just use your title deed directly for the application. And in case your property purchase price is below 2 million, don't worry about it. There's still a chance for it. You just need to apply for evaluation certificate. So as long as the market value is 2 million or above, then you can still qualify to apply for the golden visa. Am I right, Isa?
Correct.
Great. Okay. And how about Abu Dhabi? Is it similar to Dubai's process?
It's similar after you get approval, but before that, you have to make sure you pay complete 2 million to obtain your title deed.
Wow. So that means in Abu Dhabi, the rule is stricter. You have to finish paying 2 million before you can even start thinking about the application. And I think not just only paying 2 million, you actually have to get the title deed. And in the case of off-plan, you have to get some sort of a temporary title deed as well from developers. However, as far as we know, most developers don't issue those certificates. So in Abu Dhabi, we can say the only case that can apply for golden visa is to ready build projects.
Correct.
You always have to obtain a property evaluation certificate, regardless of the purchase price you made in Abu Dhabi. Is that
Yes,
right?
even though it's all plan or ready built, both you need to obtain evaluation.
Even if the price you pay is like 10 million, you still need to apply for a property evaluation certificate before you can start applying for the golden visa. Okay, and then the document preparation is the same, but the governmental approval rate is quite different between Abu Dhabi and Dubai, right?
Yes, I would say in Dubai it's 99.9%. In Abu
get
Dhabi
approved.
would be 50-50.
Wow, that is a lot stricter than Dubai.
Yeah.
But I think at least the good thing is you don't need to come here to find out whether you will be approved or not. Before you start making your trip, we can actually submit them to the government, and the government will let you know whether they allow you to apply for golden visa or not. That's still doable. As we can see, there is a clear difference between Dubai and Abu Dhabi's process. Dubai is a lot easier. Abu Dhabi is stricter. It makes sense because the capital of the UAE. So if golden visa application is very important to you, then I would say stick to Dubai. But if you want other kind of benefits from investing in properties, like the benefits of having a Disneyland nearby, for example, then stick to Abu Dhabi. There are pros and cons in terms of these two Emirates. So now let's talk about the good news I've just mentioned. In Dubai, there's something called investor visa, which doesn't exist in Abu Dhabi, but it's there in Dubai and it's available. And we have just heard about the news that the government has loosened up the requirement for this investor's visa. Isa, can you tell us more about this? This sounds really exciting.
So this is really hot. It just announced yesterday. So this is called 2 years investor visa. And just before the requirement was 750,000 dirham. But right now they lowered to 100,000 dirham.
Wow, that's a huge difference, isn't it? From 750,000 to 100,000. And it seems like if there are multiple owners sharing a property, each one only need to
400,000.
400,000. Wow, that's a big change. And there's no property that is only 100,000 dirham. But as long as your property is 100,000, you can apply for a 2-year residency visa in Dubai. Does it allow you to sponsor your family?
Also.
Wow, that's a great news. So it seems like Dubai is now welcoming whoever has property ownership in Dubai to come and apply for residency.
Yes.
That's a fantastic news because there are some, for example, studios in Dubai that is about 600,000, 700,000. So you kind of just missed the previous requirement of 750,000. But now with this big change, they can all apply for residency in Dubai. That's fantastic. But is there such a thing in Abu Dhabi?
No.
So Abu Dhabi is still sticking to the 2 million golden visa requirement. Now let's talk about some frequently asked questions we got from our client. I think the top one is definitely, who can I sponsor? Can I sponsor my kids? Can I sponsor my wife's parents? What are the answers?
The property owner can sponsor its own parents and spouse and his children.
And vice versa. If it's a wife who is the owner, the wife can also sponsor the husband's visa and her own parents' visas and her children's, but not the spouse's parents.
No.
And then in terms of kids, I know there is an age restriction, right? Up to a certain age, they can be sponsored.
Yeah, so for male, for a son, it has to be below 30 years old and single. Once he's married, he's not qualified. Right. But for daughter, no matter how old she as long as she is single, she's eligible.
Right. So daughters can stay under the sponsorship of the mother or the father as long as she stays single for the rest of her life. Okay. Well, it's an Islamic way of thinking, right? They need to look after the daughters. Okay. And then the second questions we often get asked is, how long should I be staying in Dubai or Abu Dhabi for the golden visa application?
Okay, so in Dubai, it's more flexible. There are two options. So for the normal service, you need to stay at least 2 weeks, which is 10 working days. But for the express, you can stay 5 days, working days. Abu Dhabi, at least I would say 2 weeks working days. It takes a bit longer. Yeah.
Dubai is a lot quicker than Abu Dhabi. You can get it done in 5 working days. Whereas Abu Dhabi, be safe, at least 10 working days you will need to spend on this golden visa application. And in case if you would like to sponsor your dependent visa, then you have to extend a few more days just to make sure that they can also complete their golden visa application process. Okay, question number 3. What are the biggest mistakes or common mistakes that we see client makes?
All right. So this is a real experience. So the client needs to make sure he knows how many exactly working days to be done, the process. Then you start booking your flight tickets and your trip.
You know, some of our clients that they're excited, they got some extra days for their holidays and then like, I'm gonna come here and get it done. But they only give us 3 working days.
Yeah.
And we're like, how can we get it done?
All the pressure is on me.
Right, because, granted, for express services in Dubai, sometimes, if you're lucky, you can get it done in 3 days, but there's no guarantee. That's why we tell our clients, just to be safe, for express services, stick to 5 working days. For normal process, make sure you have 10 working days, okay? Don't risk it.
Yeah.
And then the other important thing is, before you actually get the government's approval, don't go ahead to book for your flight tickets.
Unless your flight tickets are flexible as well. So
right, that's true. And I would say this is particularly true with Abu Dhabi's case because Abu Dhabi's approval rate is a lot lower than Dubai. So you have to make sure you are approved by the government first before you buy the flight tickets.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it could be quite sad. You can come here for a holiday. You just won't get your golden visa. And we also have a great bonus for whoever watched this video, and only those who stay till now will know. We have actually made the most comprehensive step-by-step golden visa application process for Dubai and Abu Dhabi. So in case, if you want it, check out the description, contact us, and we will send it to you. That's it for today. If you have more questions about Golden Visa, leave us comments down below. We may do episode 2 on Golden Visa. And if you'd like us to help you with the Golden Visa application process, will registration, property management, contact us, check out our description. That's it for today. Bye.
Bye.